number 5, I'm going to try and solve by the elimination method. And if I look at the x's, I have a 2 and a negative 3. Now, there's no way that I can turn this 2 into a positive 3. And there's no way that I can turn this negative 3 into a negative 2. So I'm actually going to have to multiply both equations by something and build them both up into a separate number. So I'm actually looking at the x LCM. It's kind of like an LCD, and that would be 6, meaning both 2 and 3, I can build those both up into 6. So if I multiply this times by 3 and times by 2, then my new equation is going to be 6x minus 18y is equal to 30. And I have negative 6x plus 18y is equal to negative 30. So if I add these up, then this is going to be, well, my x's go away and my y's go away. So I have 0 on this side. And then 30 plus negative 30 is also 0. So again, when our variables all disappear, we need to look at the statement to see if is it a true statement or is it a false statement. This is a true statement, which means it's an infinite amount of solutions. Now in the directions it says, if the system has infinitely many solutions, express the answer in ordered pair notation, which means that we have more work to do. So first of all, our first step is going to be, I'm going to let x be anything. So x can be anything. So this is what I'm doing with my x. For my y, I actually want to get that now in terms of x. So now get y in terms of x. So you can pick any one of the original 2 equations. I'm going to pick the top one, which I have 2x minus 6y is equal to 10. And I want to isolate for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And then I'm going to divide by negative 6. Which that reduces to 1/3 x minus 5/3. So our final answer needs to be in ordered pair notation. So this is going to be, x can be anything, so it's just going to be x, and then 1/3 x minus 5/3 is my y value. So again, x can be anything, it's just the x. Y is 1/3 x minus 5/3. Now sometimes on WebAssign they'll ask you to use x like this. Sometimes on WebAssign they'll ask you to use a different variable like t. So if they do that, then you can just copy your same answer, except for use t instead of x. And the reason for that is it's called a parameter, and they want you to introduce a variable that's not used in the original system. So just a separate letter besides x or y they want you to use. And traditionally it's used as t. So again, sometimes on WebAssign they'll want you to use x. Sometimes on WebAssign they'll want you to use t. And it should tell you in the directions what they want you to use. Now I still want to talk a little bit more about how this is infinitely many solutions. meaning there are infinitely many solutions, but they need to be of this type or of this form. So if I were to pick, let me give myself some space here. Let's say I pick 4. So I want 4 to be my x value. I can't just pick, like, let's say 17 for my y value. Once you pick 4, you need to plug it into that formula, and then that will tell you the corresponding y value. So if you type in 4, then you get -1/3. Let's pick a different value. Let's pick 8. So if I pick 8, 1/3 times 8 minus 5/3, then I get 1. So you can generate an infinite amount of these solutions. It's just that once you pick your x value, which could be anything, your y value needs to follow this form here. So I don't think they ask you to pick a couple test points, but if you wanted to check your answer or generate points on these lines, then you could. And that's kind of the last point, is that infinitely many solutions means that these are actually the same line, or that they're on top of each other. So these two equations are actually the same line.